We are the American Legion Department of New Jersey. Be the one.
Responsible citizenship. American Legion youth programs have been defining that concept for generations. American Legion Boys State and Boys Nation have inspired future leaders, governors, members of Congress, astronauts, mayors, judges, business leaders, and even one president of the United States. American Legion Baseball has cultivated major league stars, World Series champions, Hall of Famers, coaches, educators, and even one Vietnam War Medal of Honor hero. American Legion oratorical contestants have gone on to successful careers in law, government, media, education, and entertainment, including a presidential candidate. American Legion junior shooting sports competitors have discovered what it takes to practice hard and perform individually to achieve excellence. As part of a team, including one Olympic gold medalist. Participants in the American Legion's Youth Cadet Law Enforcement learn from the best how to protect and serve the public, including hundreds of active officers and first responders across the country. These American Legion youth programs and others have one common denominator. No matter the competition or nature of it, be it on the baseball diamond, in front of a microphone, or peering into the center of a target, responsible citizenship is the driving force behind all of it. The American Legion was built on the ideal that the world's strongest nations are populated by citizens who understand and care about their country and all it stands for. And service to the country is a lifelong commitment, a responsibility, whether you're in uniform or not. That ideal is etched in the hearts and souls of all those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Upon enlistment, each one swore with his or her life to protect, defend, and bear true faith and allegiance to our nation and its Constitution. Wartime veterans of the American Legion proudly lead youth programs because the future of a free, strong, and prosperous nation depends on responsible, active citizenship among young people. That is why the American Legion operates not to serve or please itself. The American Legion instead is built on selfless service. Veterans Strengthening America. To understand the meaning of those words, consider the American Legion's most sacred purposes: care, compassion, and respect for all U.S. military veterans who sacrifice some or all of their lives so we can live in freedom. Support for the men and women who continue to take the oath, pledging to stand in harm's way, no matter the danger, as members of our nation's armed forces. Reverence for our flag and pride in all it symbolizes, at home and around the world. Honored remembrance of all who served before us. Urgent, effective response to catastrophes and unexpected challenges, from hurricanes and floods to a global pandemic that disrupt our way of life. A chance to succeed for children who face difficulties not of their making, victims of abuse, neglect, disease, or disaster. Education and career opportunities through millions of dollars in college scholarships every year. And of course, provision of youth programs that help future generations of Americans become proud, responsible citizens and community leaders. The American Legion is the nation's largest veteran service organization. Together with the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we number nearly 3 million in all 50 states and around the world. We come in all ages, shapes, colors, and sizes. Men and women proud to have served and determined to continue driving forward the importance of responsible citizenship through what we call individual obligation to the community, state, and nation. This is nothing new. For over a century, the all-volunteer American Legion has been making positive differences in our nation. The American Legion drafted GI Bill of Rights, educated tens of millions, and stimulated decades of economic prosperity, not just in the United States, but around the world. The American Legion has held government accountable and demanded fair treatment of veterans who came home disabled or changed by wartime service. The American Legion has demanded attention and support for a strong national defense in times of war and peace alike. The U.S. Flag Code was born of American Legion advocacy. So was the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, and numerous laws and ordinances that seek to keep our communities, states, and nation free, safe, and prosperous. The American Legion played an important support role in the success of such organizations as the American Heart Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and has stood as an important ally to the National Education Association, the American Red Cross, and of course, the Department of Veterans Affairs. The American Legion is composed of no particular political party. Nonpartisanship is written into our Constitution. The American Legion believes that all people of our nation are entitled to fair and equal justice, freedom, and democracy. Above all, the American Legion believes in the power of veterans strengthening America. And the cornerstone of that belief, from blood donors to classroom volunteers, is responsible citizenship in a land that veterans know especially is one worth serving.
Okay, moving on to our youth programs. First up is past National Vice Commander, Vice President of American Legion Boys State, Burley Hanna, Jr. You like that introduction?
Oh, I love that introduction. Let's see. It's still morning, so good morning again. Our director, David S. Bagatelle, couldn't make it here, job commitment. He sent me his report, which must be read. However, it's in like a 8 font, so bear with me. When I do a report, it's in 14 font, 1.2 spacing, and everything is bold, so just bear with me. He explains what transpired last year at last year's program. Our 25th session of the American Legion Jersey Boys State, we got little critters up here flying, excuse me. It's right on the microphone. Why me? Our 2025 session of the American Legion Jersey Boys State, we refer to as ALJBS, was our 79th annual session. I am pleased to report that the 2025 was another rebounding success. Our amazing all-volunteer staff did an incredible job planning and hosting the 2025 session. Thank you and kudos to the entire staff. Before I go on, just by a show of hand, who participates in the Boys State program? If your post participates, I like to get visual feedback. Thank you. The registration for last year's program, held at Rider University, our 56th year at Rider, had 795 total paid delegates, 577 post-sponsored, and 218 self-sponsored in 2025 venues, versus 767 total paid delegates in 2024. 604 post-sponsored and 163 self-sponsored, an increase of 3.7%. The number of delegates that attended the program in 2025 was 773. 22 no-shows, 20 post-sponsored no-shows, and 2 self-sponsored no-shows, versus 734, 33 no-shows, with 30 post-sponsored no-shows and 3 self-sponsored no-shows in 2024, an increase of 5.3%. 85% of our delegates in 2025 versus 89% in 2024 were either elected or appointed to a political position at the ALJBS, which demonstrates a high level of engagement by our delegates, equally distributed amongst post-sponsored and self-sponsored delegates. We are encouraged by our positive registration trends. We continue to be one of the largest and most successful Boy State program in the country. We are now the 5th largest Boy State program in the country. We thank everyone for their support, excuse me, and hard work on the program. The program had a small profit on an operating basis last year. We continue to closely manage our finances and closely monitor our contact with Rider University. We also continue to receive tremendous support from the New Jersey Boy State Foundation. The foundation evolved out of our continued travels to the National Boy State Directors Conferences in Indianapolis, where we compare notes with other Boy State programs around the country and bring new ideas back to New Jersey. The foundation has donated well over $1 million in cash, in-kind donations, and consulting times since 2002. Our speakers last year were once again excellent. Prominent speakers included former governors Christy Todd Whitman and Chris Christie, New Jersey Attorney General and former ALJBS delegate Matthew Platkin, and American Legion Department of New Jersey Commander Dan Channel. In keeping with a tradition we began several years ago, we had a graduation speaker address the delegates, parents, and Legionnaires. Last year's graduation speaker was New Jersey State Police Lieutenant Colonel Fred Fifth. We also had several other stellar speakers address the delegation, including former Congressman Leonard Lance, ALJB graduate of 1969. Mercer County Executive Dan Benson, ALJBS, 1993. Trenton Mayor Reed Gascoria, ALJBS graduate of 1977. Hampton Mayor Jeff Martin, ABLJBS graduate of 2000. And Makai Rasmussen, director of the Rabovich Institute at Rider University. We were fortunate to have with us current representatives of the state legislature, including Senator Tessa, Senator Doug Steinhardt, Senator Andrew Zwicker, Assemblyman Ra Mukherjee, Assemblyman Brian Bergen, and Congressman Herb Conway, all former ALJBS delegates. We are very proud of the ALJBS new governor, Zayden Lalani. Hope I pronounced that right. He said close enough. Who hails from the Morristown in Camden County. He is a self-sponsored delegate. Our Lieutenant Governor, William Capizzi, Abraham Halls, from Little Falls and Passaic County, sponsored by Post 238. Our Boys Nation senators were elected on the last day of the program and are Christopher Kawadi from Freehold and Monmouth County. He is also a self-sponsored delegate. And Vincent Price from Colts Neck in Monmouth County, in Monmouth, in Bergen County. Self-sponsored also. And Jeremy Maletzi from West Windsor Township of Mercer County. He is also a self-sponsored delegate. At the last page now, so just bear with me. Dave continues to say, I could not have been more pleased with the staff and level of support they provided me for my 19th year as director. I wish to acknowledge the tremendous assistance I received throughout the year from my assistant directors, Chuck Smith, Brian Epstein, John Megaletti, and Adam Pohemus, my program deans and senior ALJBS staff members. Once again, the delegates were shown the ABC News special presentation about the invasion of Normandy, commencing the 50th anniversary of D-Day in 1994. The documentary was very well received by the delegates. It also helped set the stage for our closing ceremony, in which we traditionally honor our veterans. Those veterans that are in attendance gets to give a little synopsis of what they did during their term in service, which went over and goes over very well. Now, I hope I didn't lose my place. It is also United States Army, New Jersey Army National Guard, and the United States Marine Corps for their support and efforts in this year's session. We had at least one soldier working with each city. The active duty military element of the program was well received, and we look forward to continuing in 2026. Just so you know, that part is a blessing. Most of our volunteers who come back are almost the same age, so the military steps in not to push them towards military life, but to help control the cities. As a councilman, we really appreciate their service. Each of the delegates complete a Boys State evaluation form at the conclusion of the week. These surveys help us determine whether we are successfully performing our mission to teach government, politics, patriotism, leadership, and Americanism to the most outstanding young men entering the senior class in New Jersey's high school. I am pleased to report that last year's survey showed an overwhelming approval rating of the program's content and staff. I wish to acknowledge the support of the program receives from the officers and trustees of the American Legion Boys State Cooperation, the American Legion Department of New Jersey, and an outstanding volunteer staff. I also want to personally thank President and past department commander Ted Howard, Vice President, past department commander, and he put a, well, at that time, and NEC, I was the NEC at that time, he reported, Burley Hanna. Department Adjutant John Baker. He's thanking you, John. Distinguished.
I wish he was given the report.
I wish he was giving it too. That's because he does a better job and he can read his own writing. The Department of ALJBS Secretary Tammy, and I'm not even going to mess up her last name, as well as the entire staff at Legion headquarters in Trenton. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not thank and recognize Department Commander Dan Channel and the Department Vice Commanders for their support and assistance. Finally, stop it, John. I wish to thank all of you for the opportunity you afforded me and the trust you placed in me to serve as the executive director of this outstanding program and its exceptional staff. The future will not be without challenges. However, with your support and the staff infrastructure that we now have in place, I believe that we are well positioned to face those future challenges. This is respectfully submitted by Dave, ALJBS Class of 1981, Executive Director and Trustee. Now, and I have the pleasure, since our president, Ted Howarth, could not be here today, of introducing the 4 top positions that were elected at last year's Boys State session. First, I would like to introduce to you, and he will speak for a few minutes about his time at the program, and that is our governor, Zayden Lalani. Governor Zayden is from Morristown in Burlington County and attends Morristown Friends School, and he was a self-sponsored statesman. Prior to being elected governor, Zayden was one of the Polk City's election board officials and the National Party secretary. After a defeat in the Polk mayoral campaign, Governor Lalani won election at the ALJBS Assembly, where he served as majority leader. He defeated 5 other candidates in the gubernatorial primary before ultimately prevailing in the general election behind a well-run campaign. And now to say a few words on his experience at the American Legion Jersey Boys State is Governor Zayden Lalani.
Good morning. Thank you to the Legionnaires, to Director Bagatelle, who couldn't be here, and of course to Vice President Hannah, and also to everybody who gives their time and dedication to the Boys State program. A week like that cannot happen without you, and without that week, I wouldn't be standing here. I arrived at Ryder unsure of what the week would hold. I knew there would be elections, seminars, legislative sessions, but I did not understand how a program like that could run efficiently, given that it hinged completely on the focus of 800 easily distractible young men. And yet, we built cities, we held elections, we debated bills, and eventually we figured it out together. Somewhere along that week, the statesmen got the idea to elect me as their 79th governor. That, for me, was a true training ground for leadership. It taught me what leadership looks like on a larger scale in the real world with realer stakes. Because at its core, Boys State takes a group of unrelated, diverse teenagers and shows them that they're capable of far more than they ever could have realized. That alone is reason enough for every bit of effort and money that you put into the program. But Boys State, to me, does something bigger than just train leaders. It teaches us why we lead, and it honors the people that historically have showed us how. Every part of that week pointed back to them. The flag being lowered and raised at retreat, the D-Day presentation, and the values instilled within the program itself. All of it pointing back to the men and women that serve this country. Boys State taught us about civics, it taught us about freedom, about citizenship, but more than that, it taught us to honor those who fought for it. And that lesson did not end for hundreds of us just when the week ended. Recently, I had the privilege of interning with the New Jersey Department of Veterans Affairs, directly under Commissioner Salamino, and I saw up close the work that goes on caring for those that served, and I saw how much that work truly matters. I can draw a straight line from that internship back to Boise State to this organization and to the example that all of you set over that week. You planted a seed, and for hundreds of us, it grows and continues to grow into something real and tangible. So when you invest in Boise State, I implore you to understand what you're truly building. You're not just producing leaders, you're producing leaders who understand service, who value sacrifice, and who will carry forward the importance of our veterans long after their week at Rider University comes to an end. Thank you for this honor, and I wish you all the best with the rest of this convention. Thank you.
Good job. Good job, young man.
I am proud to introduce our next speaker, Lieutenant Governor William Capizzi, C-A-P-I-Z-Z-I. Yes. Lieutenant Governor hails from the Little Falls in Passaic County. Attending Passaic County Valley Regional High School, he was sponsored by Legion Post, American Legion Post, 238, West Patterson Memorial in West Patterson. Prior to joining the Lalani ticket, Lieutenant Governor Capizzi was Jackson City Election Board official and also served in the Jackson City Council. He represented Nimitz County alongside Governor Lalani in the Assembly. And now he says, and now to say a few words on his experience at the American Legion Jersey Boys State program is Lieutenant Governor William Capizzi.
Good morning, everybody. To the members of the Board of Trustees, American Legion members, distinguished guests, and fellow Boise State alumni, my name is William Capizzi, and I'm a senior at Passaic Valley High School in Little Falls, and I proudly represent Post 238 in Woodland Park, and I served as Lieutenant Governor for the 79th session of New Jersey Boys State. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak today. Last June, when I arrived at New Jersey Boys State, I honestly didn't want to be there. The night before I left, I got into a brief argument with my mom about going. Like a lot of the guys there, I figured I would go for a week, get it over with, and come home. Looking back now, I can confidently say that attending Boise State was one of the best decisions I've ever made. That short week in June changed the course of my life. At Boise State, I had the opportunity to sit down with some of the brightest young men from every corner of New Jersey. We came from different towns, different backgrounds, and different political beliefs. Yet, despite those differences, we were able to have conversations, debate ideas, and work together towards common goals. In today's world, that seems increasingly rare. Too often, people are encouraged to argue rather than to listen. Boise State showed me the exact opposite. It taught me that disagreement does not have to create division. When people are willing to listen to one another with respect, they usually find they agree on far more than they thought. By the end of that week, I felt like I had matured more in 6 days than I had in the previous 6 months. I learned about government, leadership, public service, and Americanism, and patriotism as well. But most importantly, I learned about myself. The friendships I made at Boise State are friendships that I still cherish today. The young men that I met there are more than friends, they are brothers. They are people I can call on at any hour of the day, and I know they would answer. That sense of brotherhood is something that cannot be taught in a classroom and cannot be found in a textbook. I was fortunate enough to be elected Lieutenant Governor during my week at Boise State, but the title itself is not what I remember most. What I remember most is the responsibility that came with it. Boise State taught me that leadership is not about a position or a title. Leadership is about service. It is about putting the needs of others before your own and working to leave something better than you found it. That lesson has stayed with me. This year, I was honored to receive a National Army ROTC scholarship, which I will use to attend Mercyhurst University this fall. There, thank you. Go Army. Go Army. There, I will study intelligence studies while competing as a Division I wrestler. My goal is simple. I want to dedicate my life to serving the American people. Whether that service comes through the Army, public service, or my future career, I want to spend my life giving back to the country that has given so much to me as a young man and as a young American. None of that would be possible without the men and women of the American Legion and the generations of service members who have defended our nation. The opportunities that Boys State provides exist because of your sacrifice, your commitment, and your belief in the next generation of Americans. For that, I'm extremely grateful. In a time when many people become cynical about politics or government, Boys State gave me hope. It showed me that young Americans can still come together, can have meaningful conversations, and work together towards a better future. Thank you for everything you do for Boys State and for this country and for young men like me. Because of Boys State, I'm a better leader, a better citizen, a better patriot, and a better man, and I look forward to serving all of you throughout my life. Thank you.
Calm down, Army. Our next speaker, Senator Vincent Price. Senator Vincent Price is from Coles Neck in Monmouth County and attends high school at the Christian Brothers Academy. He was sponsored by the American Legion Post 43, Frank Patterson in Florham Park. During his time in Adams City, Senator Price served as an election board official, was the Adams National Party chair, was his party's candidate for mayor, was the Halsey County Party chair, and represented Halsey County in the ALJBS Senate, serving as the minority leader. He advanced from an extremely competitive Boys Nation senatorial primary and was announced as one of the New Jersey's 2 representatives to Boys Nation at ALJBS graduation. They don't hear about it until graduation day. And now to say a few words on his experience at the American Legion Jersey Boys State is Senator Vincent Price.
Good morning. Oh, sorry, good afternoon now. Thank you so much for having me. 7 days. It's known as a week that shapes a lifetime. Like Lieutenant Governor Capizzi and Governor Liani, I could share the same stories about moments that made my tears well in my eyes. Moments that warmed my heart with a profound sense of community I don't believe I'll ever come to truly understand. So much so that during my time in DC, I was stopped and recognized as the kid who cried. But I have another didactic that I believe truly shows the importance of this program, not from somebody within the community, but from somebody outside. See, this past March, I was accepted into the Harvard College class of 2030, and I was given the opportunity a week later. To meet with an admissions officer, the guy who saw my file and said, yes, we want him. And like anybody, the question I wanted to ask was, why me? And I did. I mustered the courage. I asked him. My mind raced. Was it the essays I spent weeks trying to write, the SAT I tried so hard to get high, my involvement in school? I took a deep breath. I paused. I waited for him. He looked me back in the eye and he said, it was Boys State. I paused. 1 week of my entire high school career was the defining moment that got me into this school. I always thought that maybe it was going to be Vincent Price that comes back to garner the recognition for this program. But in that moment, I realized it was the other way around. Though none of you know it, all of you silently subscribed in that moment as a testament to my character, to who I am, to who I hopefully will come to be, because the program you all put on each year has people walk through it that truly go on to drive change. I hope to come to be one of those people that continues to set the example that can only be set with such leadership that you all have put on beforehand. I am forever indebted to all of you for that. The three men who will speak today are also all indebted to you for that. The 800 or so boys that don't have the opportunity to deliver the same speech are all indebted to you for the same reason. The program means so much, and others recognize that, not just on the basis of the importance of character shaping in 7 days, of the community it can bring together, but what it means for those who step outside of this program, those who continue to drive civic activism, those who continue to foster change, whether it be in veterans affairs, whether it be in municipal cities, or whether it simply be being a leader for somebody else. I cannot thank you enough, and I hope even a fraction of my gratitude is somehow imparted through this speech. I believe that this program is truly something. It is a week that shapes a lifetime. It may just be a mere 7 days, but I can say with true conviction that it is so much more than that. Thank you.
That speech brought tears to my eyes.
Now you see why I have a 30-year pin with this program. It's outstanding. Next speaker is Senator Christopher Kawadi. Senator Christopher Kawadi hails from Freehold in Monmouth County, attending Howell High School, and was a self-sponsored statesman. We're not doing our job, posts. Wow. Senator served in several capacities in Jackson City and Nimitz County. He served as the Jackson City's National Party Chair, was a member of the Jackson City Council, and represented Nimitz County in the ALJBS General Assembly. Being chosen as the minority leader, Senator Schaefer Kawadi, I just messed up his first name, emerged from the National Party's Boys State Nation senatorial primary and proudly represented New Jersey and Washington, D.C. with Senator Price. And now to say a few words on his experience of the American Legion Jersey Boys State program held last year is Senator Christopher Kawadi.
Good morning, everybody. Before I introduce myself, I truly just want to thank you all for allowing me to come here today. This program means more to me than any of you could ever know, and it has changed my life in ways I could never imagine. I know they just introduced me, but my name is Christopher Kawadi, and I was a self-sponsored delegate from Freehold, New Jersey. And when I applied, I didn't even know what Boys State was, and I wasn't all that interested in politics. And today I'm going to share my experience, and I want to center it around 3 key pillars why I believe this program is so necessary and it is just so impactful for the youth. Before I do that, I'm just going to share a personal anecdote about the months leading up to when I applied to Boys State, and specifically the night before. So like I said, I didn't know much, and in the months before, in January, when I received a letter in the mail inviting me to apply, I looked it over and I decided to do so. And then months later, the night before I was packing, I told my mom I was very doubtful and nervous, and I haven't left home yet. And she kept telling me persistently, I believe that there's something special here. And she couldn't have been more correct. That week has been the most impactful week in my life, and it's taught me so many things I carry with on the daily. The first pillar I want to discuss is the culture of Boys State. This culture of shaping the youth in a way that service becomes a commitment has changed how I view every interaction, and it has changed how I go about my daily life. This has led me to pursue a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship that I attained at Wake Forest University, where I will be going in the fall. Now, what's so unique about this is both of my parents never went to college, and they both come from an immigrant home. And so they don't know what it's like to serve, whether it be in the military or by pursuing higher education. But the one thing they did was they always lovingly and endlessly supported me. And so when I was in DC with Boys Nation and I stood before the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, I was very emotional. I was moved to tears. And I went home and I decided I knew one thing that was unanimously clear. I needed to serve this nation throughout my life. And that's when I applied for the Army ROTC scholarship. And that's the second pillar in my speech today, is how the American Legion in Boys State truly changes lives by opening doors to service, whether it be through government or it be through military. And my life is a testimony of that, because I came from a background of not knowing anything and a family that didn't have much, and yet I was able to, I'm going to be able to achieve something, and it is because of you. So I just can't thank you guys enough for the impact you've had on my life. The last thing is, and it might be very biased, but I find it very funny and true, is that Jersey Boys State is by far the best boys state across the country. It's not even close. I still remember vividly when I got to that airport in Washington, D.C., and there was, besides Vincent, there was 98 other delegates who were not from New Jersey. And they had to go through interviews and background checks and sitting around a small circle with a bunch of adults. And yet the strength that came from Jersey Boys State was that the staff left it in the hands of the delegates. And it was authentic and it was pure, and it allowed for a true week to come about where it wasn't about a test or an interview, but the power lay in the voice of the people. And it showed us that it gave me so much hope for the youth of this country, that like Vincent said, and like the other two said as well, that hopefully one day that I could be one of those people that you guys have chosen to allow us to come to your program and shape this country. And so I just want to thank you all again. And I still remember that day when the bagpipes were sounding, and it was just the most emotional moment of my life. And I know that may sound funny because life is filled with so many great things, but going to Boys State and becoming a senator and seeing it all happen with all of the parents there and 800 students that came together, that were divided by a fake political party, found a way to unite for the betterment of New Jersey. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And so thank you for opening these doors for service in my life. And the last thing I would like to share is a bracelet I've kept on my wrist for every day for the past 2 years. And it's 1 Samuel 12:24. Only fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all of your heart, for consider what great things he has done for you. In my life, being able to attend this program and have the support and recognition of all of you has been a great thing in my life. And I wouldn't be able to do it without my Lord and Savior and without the support of all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yes. Yeah. Got it. That ends our portion of the Boys State presentation. Picture. Where are my photographers? Where is your photographer?
Every time you need him, he's gone.
Thank you again.
Just hold tight for a little bit, and then we'll go.
Thank you, Burley. Let's give these young men another round of applause. They were great. That shows you the future of this nation right there. Next up, we have Mr. Baker to do a Boys State report.
Baseball.
Baseball.
That's okay. Yeah. Real quick.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Burley no more.
No, we're gonna be very quick with this. The chairman and the vice chairman were not here today, so I'm just gonna let you know that the David C. Goodwin Memorial Scholarship went to Ryan Nape out of Clinton, Hunterdon County. He played for Montgomery Superior Blue, and it's a $4,000 scholarship for baseball. That's part of the report. I give it back to the commander.
Thank you. For purposes of presentation, I'd like to bring up Burley Hanna again.
This is for
Frank.
Frank.
Frank, right?
Where is that young man? Okay. I would like to call to the podium Frank Calangelo Jr. Would you please come on up? While Frank is coming up, when I was department commander way back when, 99, 2000, one of my department vice commander was Frank Calangelo Jr. It was a very good year. Not only did Bergen County see his commitment to this department, but year serving with him was excellent, along with Bergen County. I thanked him for a lot of things, especially the red cap. At this time, you know, Frank, this is his farewell song. When he gets to speak, he'll tell you how many years he's been at this. And when they told me they were giving this award actually goes to him as the American Legion member, but also his wife. Yes, they made this program happen. The next chairman is going to have large shoes to fill because they did an excellent job. So I will read this and let you speak. The American Legion Department of New Jersey presented to Frank M. Calangelo Jr., New Jersey American Legion, Mr. Baseball, for 23 years of devoted service to the youth of New Jersey through the American Legion Jersey Boys State. Yeah, there I go. Like you, Commander. Through the American Legion baseball program. You see where my mind's at. 2002 to 2025. Given this 11th day of June 2026, 107th Annual Department Convention, Wildwood's Convention Center, Wildwood, New Jersey. It's signed by our Department Adjutant, John Baker, and our Commander, Dan Channel. This is well-deserved, and with all of it, our appreciation for what you have done for this committee.
Let's see, now it's afternoon, so I can say good afternoon, everybody. All right. You know, how I became involved in baseball and it's kind of like, was almost, I don't want to say by accident, but it's just how things happen in the Legion. Back in 1997, I was Bergen County commander. And I had a baseball chairman that I had inherited. It was one of these deals, like it's still done today, even on the department level, where somebody turns around and just keeps putting a name on a committee list that nobody ever sees. And I inherited that. You know, you just appoint the same people. I took over as county commander, and I didn't want to do, hurt any feelings. I didn't know half these people because they didn't come to county meetings, but I figured they're old timers. But a long story short, I didn't see the man, and so there was never any baseball. There were the first couple of meetings. I took office in May. There wasn't any baseball reports. And I was thinking, well, I guess we don't even have a program anymore. I never hear any reports. Well, I picked up the sports section of the newspaper, and I saw reports and columns about American Legion baseball games and the Bergen County Area American Legion League, as it was called at the time, which consisted of Bergen, Hudson, and Passaic. So Brenda, and I said to Brenda, either somebody is illegally using the American Legion name on some youth baseball program, or we have a program that I don't know about. So we saw this, the paper would publish the schedule, so we picked a game that was not far from where we live, and we went there, and sure enough, it was a Legion baseball game. There were most of them were post-sponsored teams, Legion emblems on the uniforms, and I talked to the coach, and I said, I mentioned the name of the chairman at the time. He said, we never see him. I said, who runs this league? Because I went there, had to wear my cap so that they knew who I was. And I said, who runs this league? Oh, the athletic director from the Paramus Catholic High School. Because we don't have anybody to run it. He was doing a good job running it. So he said, we have a meeting at the Lyndhurst American Legion post. They let us use their post on Sunday night. Why don't you come down? So Brenda and I went down there and met this gentleman, and he was very enthused to see me. He says, this is the first, other than the people from the post 139 here, you were the first one from the higher levels of the Legion that I've ever seen. So we went to the meeting, and they said, you know, we're hosting the state district tournament right here in Riverside Park. We're going to start Saturday morning. Maybe you and Brenda can come down and give us a hand. We need someone to work the 10 o'clock game. So we had plans for the afternoon, but Brenda said, I said to Brenda, why don't we go down and we'll give them a hand for a couple hours until the first game's over. And by the way, tournament games in those days, American Legion tournament games, went 9 innings. And in the tournaments, you played 4 9-inning games a day. So we went down there, and we worked the game, and Brenda was asked to work the gate. And I went up and just sat in the press box with my hat on, and they had everything covered at the time. But we enjoyed it so much, we canceled our plans for the afternoon because they told Brenda, we really don't have anybody to work the gate for the rest of the day. So she said, I said, okay, we can cancel what we're doing in the afternoon. I forget what it even was, some kind of picnic or someplace. So we just canceled out on that and stayed there all day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and 28 years later, we were still there. And that same year, naturally as county commander, I was the alternate to the NEC, no, I gave him a promotion. The DEC, who was, let him rest in peace, past Department Commander Mickey Cusbett. So I used to ride to Trenton with, he insisted that his alternate, the county commander, ride to Trenton with him and learn what you had to learn. So I had been doing that all year, and, or I've been doing it maybe half the year, and it was Bergen County's turn to have a department vice commander. So I just mentioned, you know, I mentioned one of the older guys that was a past county commander. I said, I guess he'd be next in line to go. If we had, you know, we have to put a, it's our turn to put a vice commander up for the department. He turned around to me, he said, you're in for a shock. I said, what do you mean, Mickey? He said, the next department vice commander out of Bergen County is you. I said, what? He said, it's you. These guys are too old. They're my age. They're not going anymore. Besides, my buddy Burley Hanna's going in as commander, and I want him to have a young vice commander out of here. So there I went. And in those days, if you, I guess other than Burley and a few other people here maybe don't remember those days, you just didn't say no to a PDC telling you you were going to do something like that. So I got to meet Burley when I went to the national, because the county commander also had to go to the national convention in those days. And our first national convention was in New Orleans, and that's where I met Burley. And it's gone on from there. I never, in my wildest dreams, ever thought that I'd wind up being the state chairman of the baseball, let alone a PDC, and be here 28 years later. And it's been just fulfilled our lives. I thank God that I was able to do it. But between Brenda and I had it easy as far as the tournaments. I was in the press box. I put up with the aggravation of the registration and who's going to beat who, and, you know, the coaches. But Brenda sat at the gate for almost 30 years, starting that day in 1997 in Lyndhurst. She sat in the sun for 28 years, collecting the admission to go to the department as part of, to go back into our program. And I couldn't have done it without her. And I just can't say enough. I didn't expect this, and thank you all, and God bless you all. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm still on the Revised Legion Committee and still on the Resolutions Committee. And in fact, I just noticed this morning, of the senior members on that committee, sadly, only Burley and I were physically able to be here, which tells you we're getting old and the newer generations need to take over. God bless you. Thank you all. I didn't expect this. And God bless America. Thank you.
Good job, Frank. Always a pleasure. Take care. I think they already had the pictures. They already had pictures. Okay.
Congratulations. We already got the pictures. Thank you.
Next one is. Well, next I'd like to introduce Dave Schnody for Boy Scout and Community Services. Vice Chair.
Good afternoon, Legionnaires. So I'm here on behalf of our Chairman, Donna Lakers, who's unable to attend today. But for the 2026 Eagle Scout of the Year Award goes to Parker Del Sasso. His Eagle project was a 310-foot trail at his school, make it more accessible, more handicap accessible. So young Parker hails from Ringwood, New Jersey. Parker, come on up. So besides the beautiful plaque that he receives, he also receives a $2,000 scholarship from the Department of New Jersey. Parker?
Next, I'd like to introduce Education and Scholarships. Hector Quinones, Chair.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, afternoon that is now. Yeah, pushing right through. I'm gonna make this as short as possible. All right, so I want to thank everyone who submitted applications this year to the scholarship, because last year we only had 12. This year we kind of doubled it. We got 24. So I'm gonna keep pushing hard, because this is one of the biggest things we can do, is educate our children and helping them in their futures. All right, so I'm gonna start off by thanking all of y'all again, once again, for submitting those applications to the department. The Thomas Ryan Memorial Scholarship is sponsored by Post 79 in Burlington County. The winner of that award this year is sponsored by the Captain James McFarland, Post 79, Burlington City, goes to Jaden Connors. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, now to the department winners. All right. Andrew J. Rizinger, sponsored by Lenape Post 211, Middlesex County, and that award will be picked up by PDC Larry Bishop. No? You sure?
do this, Hector. They weren't here. Just give it to them. We don't need it. Only the ones that were here.
All right. Give them all the county commanders. Let them come take them, get them out of my hand. Right? Larry. All right. That's all right. I'm getting pushed out, so I'm gonna go right through this real quick. Sponsored by John Wesley Taylor Post, Ocean County, Post 232, is Rachel Brown. She is not here today, so I will be accepting that award for her. Those are our 2 first place winners. Second place winners, Elizabeth Americo comes out of, sponsored by Lenape Post 211, Middlesex County. Victoria L. Valentic, sponsored by John Wesley Taylor Post 232, Ocean County. Zoe Woke, sponsored by Ravenel Post 23, Monmouth County. Alexis Teal, sponsored by Irvin V. Hamilton Post 26, Burlington County. Your third place winners are Annabelle Jane Johnson, sponsored by Chamont Post 243, Middlesex County. Emma Riley Frederick, sponsored by John Wesley Taylor Post 232, Ocean County. And Allison E. Hess, sponsored by Eden Stanley Post 294, Burlington County. There were no scholarships applied for the John Casey Scholarship, so hopefully next year we'll get a couple of more, and thank you very much.
Yes, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him to play it, yeah. So we're going to play a video. It's a couple seconds long, and we're doing oratorical contest, and that's going to be run by Carl Ostergaard.
Democracy serves you only if you participate.
Now, what happens if you don't vote? Somebody else will make the decision. What happens if you don't serve on a jury? Somebody else will take up that responsibility. But what happens when you stop participating altogether? Democracy moves on. But this time it no longer serves you, and suddenly those 3 words in the Constitution, we the people, become nothing more than a meaningless suggestion. Because the Constitution guarantees rights. It does not guarantee participation.
Don't worry, she's here, so she can pick up right where we left off. But everyone, thank you so much. I'm Carl Ostergaard, the oratorical chairman for the department, and Commander Channel's not in the room, but I wanted to thank him for entrusting me with his baby for 2025-2026. And I wanted to introduce you all to our department winner, Dia Ranjan. Please come on up. Yep. I wanted to present her with a wonderful award for being our first place in the department. I also wanted to say that she is a 2025 graduate of American Legion Auxiliary Girls State Program.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everybody. I want to start off by saying that I first heard about the oratorical contest back in my Girls State session, when the former governor of 2024 Girls State had come in, and in a passing mention, she spoke about her involvement in the oratorical. And I had never heard of this before. I don't know if it was because this oratorical thing was something new to me or because I had too much free time on my hands senior year, but I decided that this was something I was going to take part in. Now, my family, my friends did not understand why I would be spending hours memorizing specific amendments of the Constitution, talking about Article 6. Nobody around me had ever heard of Article 6 of the Constitution or knew what it did, but I am so happy and so proud I did. Because starting that day, the night before my first competition at the Woodbridge Post, when I couldn't even sleep because I was adamant not to mess up my speeches in front of what I thought would be the scrutinizing gazes of veterans and judges, up until today, speaking in front of you now. The oratorical contest has opened my eyes in so many ways. First, if you had asked me last year, I could not answer this question properly, which is, what is my role within this country? That might sound a little bit bad, but I truly could not define where I should engage with my community, what my role was, how much I could make a difference in the government and the community and in the people around me. But after coming up on these stages, speaking about civic participation, learning that doing something that I saw as simple, even joining a local school board meeting, could dictate the future of education for the upcoming generations. Learning from other delegates in Michigan at nationals that maybe Thomas Jefferson and John Adams told us that we should reject the notion that politics do not belong at the dinner table. Learning that the fight for rights and practicing rights is an ongoing battle that we should never cease. My eyes, again, have been opened, and I now know that my role in this country and the possibilities of what I can do with it are endless. Second, I learned that the American Legion does something remarkable. It creates community, a community that I've never seen before, within its members. The veterans that I met at every single post that had so many inspiring words of advice and stories to tell me, and community around the organization. I don't think that I know many people who can also say that they have actually met with and spoke to at least one person from all 50 states in this country. But now that I have, I've experienced so many things I never would have. I've unlocked so many perspectives that I didn't know were waiting down for me. From late nights walking around Hillsdale College with representatives from Utah, Illinois, Kentucky, and Chicago. From singing karaoke with the delegate from France, where I didn't even know that the United States had a post. I have met so many amazing people that I will never forget. And third, the oratorical taught me that I can do it. When I came in, I had a very minimal background in public speaking or debate, and I was asking myself, what am I doing by coming here and speaking about my interpretation of the Constitution? But after meeting so many people who both agree with my ideas and don't agree, and having to expand my worldview, I now realize that I have no doubt as to why I am standing up here today. Because every voice, mine and yours, truly matters. The American Legion Oratorical has been one of the most uniquely rewarding experiences I've ever had in my lifetime, and I'm so proud to be affiliated with the American Legion. To the members of the Woodbridge Post, Middlesex County, and everybody in the New Jersey American Legion, I'm so eternally grateful for your support, and I know for sure that I want to keep staying involved with the American Legion, to push out this contest to so many people who may have never heard of it before, so that the oratorical can continue uplifting young voices and helping them find their place in this country. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Safety, Joe Becker.
Well, thank you for sharing a part of your lunch hour here today for a very important presentation. You'll enjoy this very much. Unfortunately, the George Diem Safety Award for essays is not present. I was a past Warren County commander at that time, around, I think it was 1965, and George Diem, the name of this safety essay award is named after. He was a department commander, and I was a county commander. And what I'm going to do, since the award winner isn't here for the safety essay contest, I'm going to have Charles Rothenbach from White Township, Warren County, no conflict of interest there, you know, to present that award to Ella from White Township Post. At a later date. She's not here now, okay? So, I congratulate her. So at this time, the safety essay winner is here, and her parents. And her father was going to take some pictures out front here, so I don't know if he's up here. But anyway, the mother is, and here is Luca Cella. Will you come present? Right up here, Charlie. Ready? Walk closer, closer, closer. Right there.
Thank you, American Legion, for getting me to come here and get my award.
Thank you, Charlie. Oh, thank you. Stay here. We're going to take a picture of you with Mom. Okay.
So next we're going to play a video, the Welcome Home video, and we're going to bring up a report for Americanism and Community Service Committee, Frank Landis.
When our veterans came home from serving their country, the American Legion helped them with the GI Bill to get a head start. When they came home from Vietnam, we helped those affected by Agent Orange to get care and compensation. Now, a new generation is dealing with their own challenges. Every day, 22 veterans who put their lives on the line for our country came home and took their own. As it has for over 100 years, the American Legion continues to advocate for our veterans, so when they leave service, there's a place for them to go to continue serving and, when needed, to get help.
All right. I would like to first start off by thanking Commander Channel for the appointment to the chair of the Americanism Committee and the committee members themselves for the work they put in to make this year such a great success. The committee has met multiple times through the year on teams. The committee reviewed the annual awards and debated on what coloring contest picture should be. The Americanism Committee talked about the importance of highlighting Americanism activities that were happening throughout the department, such as Wreaths Across America, flag placements, youth flag etiquette, and the department and the American Legion's USA 250 Challenge. The committee met for the final time in person on March 28, 2026 at Post 455 in New Egypt in Ocean County for the annual Americanism Award judging. Thank you to everyone that submitted awards this year. It was great to see all the participation. This year, the Americanism Committee will be presenting 4 awards. The first award is the Department Coloring Contest. In celebration of America's 250th birthday, this year's picture depicted some iconic images that represented America along with a festival of fireworks. This picture not only celebrates America's 250th, but also was created by a member of our New Jersey American Legion family. Now, thank you. I believe that member is here today, isn't she? Because I'm looking at her. Please stand up and take your credit. This is the picture that was submitted to the committee and decided to be our coloring picture. This actually is the winning coloring picture, but this was created by that Legionnaire out there and submitted to the committee. This can be done each and every year. Submit your pictures. This year's coloring contest winner was sponsored by Ocean County American Legion Post 129 in Toms River from Walnut Street Elementary, Juliana. Here to accept the award is Post Commander Stan Balaki and the Post Coloring Chairperson Laura Bailey. Come on up. The Department Community Service Post Award is being presented to a post that is helping to feed senior Legion members and their spouses, widowed members, widows of deceased members, and needy seniors in their community. This is a Legion family of Legionnaires, auxiliary and sons drivers that deliver freshly prepared meals from Cousins Restaurant throughout Ocean City, Upper Township, and Atlantic County. This year alone, this program has delivered 1,090 meals at a cost of $19,620. Since the program began in 2020, there have been over 7,000 dinners delivered at a cost of over $120,000. The 2026 Department Community Service Post Award goes to Cape May County, Post 524, Ocean City.
Just want to recognize our current dinner chairman, Ken Weaver, who couldn't be here today, who's took up the banner and ran with this for the last several years. And we will continue this program into the foreseeable future. Thank you.
Commander said I have to start over.
Oh, no, I didn't. Everybody said, no.
The Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. This year is going to an off-duty officer whose actions saved a man's life. On the evening of August 11th, 2025, this officer witnessed a motor vehicle crash involving a motorcycle. The motorcycle rider was ejected and sustained serious injury. The off-duty officer immediately ran over to find the motorcycle rider unresponsive and began to perform emergency first aid. The officer took a cloth to pack a heavily bleeding wound on his leg and removed his own belt to use as a tourniquet until more help could arrive. The motorcycle rider was transported to the hospital where he has undergone 8 surgeries and is reported to be on the road to recovery. If not for the swift actions of this off-duty officer, the outcome of the motorcycle rider surely would have been much different. The 2026 Law Enforcement Officer of the Year Award, sponsored by Union County, Post 328 in Clark, is Roselle Park Officer Theodore Koch.
Which side do you want? Don't matter. Since he's from
Good afternoon, everyone. I am truly honored to receive this Law Enforcement Officer of the Year award from the American Legion. I want to sincerely thank the Legion for this recognition and for all that you guys do in support of veterans, their families, and our communities. This award is especially meaningful to me because I'm a proud member of the Sons of the American Legion. My grandfather, who proudly served in the United States Air Force helped shape my respect for those who dedicate themselves to something greater than themselves. Receiving this recognition is an honor, but the actions I took that day is what police officers are called to do on and off duty every day. I know the men and women I work with would have taken the same actions I took on that day. Lastly, but most importantly, to all the veterans here tonight, thank you for your service, your sacrifices, and your commitment to our country. The freedoms we enjoy and the opportunities we have are because of people like you. It's an honor to stand before you tonight and accept this award. Thank you.
the American Legion Department of New Jersey. Be the one.